Okay, so totally different setup today. I'm using my work AV setup, which is different from me sitting at the kitchen table. So now I have a good mic and I have a better webcam as well. So hopefully this results in a better experience. And so we're gonna do day two. I'm awake. I had coffee. I went to the gym. It's Saturday morning. I'm in good shape. Got 13 hours before the next one comes out, but we will do this one right here. So let's look at it. Cube conundrum. You're launched high into the atmosphere. Apex just barely reaches the surface of a large island floating in the sky. You land in a fluffy pile of leaves. You don't see an elf snow island. Apologies, lack of snow. Bit of a walk, some time. We like to play a game. So you walk, the elf shows you a small bag, some cubes, which are either red, green, or blue. Each time you play this game, you will hide a secret number of cubes of each come in the bag. Your goal is to figure out information about the number of cubes. Information, once the bag is unloaded with cubes, the elf will reach into the bag, grab a handful of random cubes, show them to you, and then put them back in the bag. He'll do this a few times per game. You play several games and record the information from each game, your puzzle input. Each game deals with this ID number, like 11 in game 11, followed by a semicolon list of subsets of cubes that were revealed. So, for example, the record of a few games might look like this. In game one, and then put back, the first set is 3 blue, 4 red, second set is 1 red, there's 2 green. Which games would have been possible if the game bag contained only 12 red cubes, 13 green cubes, and 14 blue cubes? Games 1, 2, and 5 would have been possible. I have to these games. Okay, that's pretty reasonable. So let's go here and just get this raw input. Okay. So the first thing we'll do is from data classes, import data class. And data class, let's call this a draw, and it has blue, which is an int. Okay, what did it do? Blue, which is an int. Green, which is an int. And red, which is an int. Why is my computer so sluggish? I hope it's not just because of OBS. It is because of, okay, let me quit out a few of these. I've been using Brave to listen to YouTube because they have ad blockers and things like that. All right, let's see if that's any more less sluggish. And then let's say game is a list of draws. So let's say from typing import list. And so parse line, which is a string, into a game. So let's see how smart it is. Game equals this. Actually, game needs to have an ID, right? So let's do this. Data class game has an ID, which is an int, and it has draws, which is listed draw. Okay, that's good. Okay, and so ID draws split on the colon, that seems reasonable. ID equals int ID dot split 1, that seems reasonable. Draws equals draw of, I don't think that part is right. Let's say parse draw, which is raw, which is a string to a draw. And let me do this. Import RE. Red count equals so I think this is not going to work because okay, for line and raw dot split lines. So I think this is going to be an error because I don't think this will deal correctly with the case where you don't get something, right? So game one, you have 3 blue, 4 red, no green. I think that's probably not going to work, but we can try it and see what happens. Python deo2.py. None type has no attribute group. Okay, good. So that's what I thought. Okay, red search equals red search. Yep. And then let's do this again. Red count equals, yep. That seems more reasonable. I don't know about the group one part, but I never know how regex groups work. Let's try that again. So, okay. Okay, game one, 4 blue, 3 green, no red. Okay, did I get this wrong? Let's see what I did wrong. Okay, 3 blue, 4 red, match 4 red, match 3 blue, none. Oh, you know what I think I did wrong? It's in a different order. That's really stupid. All right. Red equals red count, blue equals blue count, green equals green count. All right, so now I don't need to print this stuff anymore. And let us try again. Okay, so blue, green, red, blue 6, green 2, red 1, green 2, so that seems good. And then game 3, blue 6, green 8, 20 red, blue, okay, so that seems reasonable. Okay, and now let's go, which game would have been possible if, okay, so possible, self, other, and we'll just call it a draw, goes to bool. Turn self blue is no. So this is wrong. Okay, this is possible if the other draw has at least as many of each color. Okay. Yes, so that's good. And so now game is possible. Game is possible if all of its draws are possible. And this is still going to be a draw. Okay. And so let's say games equals, that's fine. Print sum of game.id for game in games if game possible. And that's not right. What is, and let's say the bag had been 12 red, 13 green, 14 blue. Bag equals draw of red equals 12, green equals 13, blue equals 14. Is that right? 12 red, 13 green, 14 blue. For game in games, if game is possible from the bag. Okay, so let's run this and see what happens. And that says it's 8. And if you add up the hit, it would have been possible. Okay. So let's try this and change this to a print. Change this print to an okay, so this is my input. It's got 100 games in it. So let's copy it and okay, so with open day02.text as f raw equals f.read games equals, that sounds good, same bag, okay, so let's run this. 2600. Okay, so let's try that. That's the right answer. Good. All right. The Elf said they stopped producing snow, circulating water. It's not sure the water stopped. However, you can get the water source to check it out for yourself. It's just up ahead. Second one. In each game you played was the fewest number of cubes of each color that could have been in the bag to make the game possible. In game 1, the game could have been played with as few as 4 red. If any color had even 1 fewer, could have been played the minimum 1 red, 1 green. Must have been played. Required this. The power of a set of cubes is equal to the number of red, green, and cubes multiplied together. The power of the minimum set is 48. And the minimum set of cubes that must have been present. What is the sum of the power of these sets? Okay, so now if we go back and so let's say power self goes to an int. No. Okay. Whenever it'd be easier to write this and describe it. And so let's say red equals maximum of draw.red, blue, green, return red times blue times green. Okay. And so now okay. For game in games, print game.power. So they gave us some, and let's just check those by running them. $48, $12, $15.60, $6.30, $36 respectively. Okay, so that seems right. And let's just read this to make sure it's yeah, we'll try it. For each game, find the minimum set of cubes on certain present. What is the sum of the power of these sets? Okay, so 2286. So assert sum of game.power for gaming games equals, what is a 2256? Okay, print sum of game.power for game in games. $2286, is that what it said? 2286, not 2256. Okay, so let us do that, and it says 86036. So 86036. That is the right answer. All right, so that one was easier than the first day because there was no real trick to it. It was just a matter of saying the least red that you can have in the game is the maximum of all the red in the draws, and same with blue and same with green. And then of course, as is my uh, as is my want, I set up data classes for everything because that's how I roll. So have a draw. I sort of abused it by, so maybe I shouldn't have called it a draw. I should have called it something else because this other is not really a draw. It's a, I don't know what to call it, but I should have called it something different. But I didn't, and it worked anyway. So yeah, that was reasonably straightforward. So good. I didn't look to see if anybody says anything, but no, nobody says anything. Nobody watches anything. I guess there's a lot of live coders these days, so it's not as novel as it was 6 years ago. But that's all right. It's still a good challenge for me. So have a good Saturday or whenever you're watching this, and I'm sure I'll probably find time to do